Deshaun Watson is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's already a 3-time Pro Bowler and has already won a playoff game. However, the Houston Texans this year, despite Deshaun Watson's stellar play, were 4-12, which is absolutely horrendous. And rumors have started to emerge that Deshaun Watson will request a trade from Houston. And today, I wanted to talk about whether it is time for Deshaun to request a trade from the Texans. So obviously, that is what I'm going to be going over in today's video. But before we do get started, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to hit the like button. It really helps out the channel and it shows your support for this content. Subscribe if you guys are new and you guys are a fan of the NFL or the NBA. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers and it would mean a lot to me if we could reach that goal. Once we hit 1K, I will react to my first 2 videos. And if you guys want to see that and enjoy the videos on this channel, make sure to subscribe. There are videos like this already on the channel, and there will be more in the future. Also, if you guys want to get any channel updates and want to see the more personal side of me, and just feel like doing this in general, make sure to go ahead and follow me on Twitter. The link will be in the description below. It is at Rahul_stuff if you guys want to search it up too. But anyways, with that being said, also make sure to comment any video ideas and feedback in the comment section below. That way, I can provide you guys with the best content available and with what you guys want to see. But with all of that being said, let's get this video started. Now first, I want to do a really quick recap of how Houston got here. Now, as we all know, the Texans drafted him with the 12th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft. He only played 6 games, but into the 2017-18 season, before an injury would end up ending his season. But he still played very well, and people thought the Texans had a bright future with Deshaun Watson, as the Texans struggled to find a good quarterback as they had a really solid team. All they needed was a good quarterback, and it looked like Deshaun was that guy. And anyways, the following season, the Texans would have a winning season and would make the playoffs before losing to the Indianapolis Colts in the wild card round. But hey, it's still progress. And the following year, Deshaun Watson would again lead the Texans to a winning season, winning the AFC South in this case, and he would lead them to a playoff win before falling to the eventual champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. The future in Houston looked bright as they had a superstar quarterback, a superstar wide receiver, and a pretty solid team. All they needed was a good offensive line and an improved defense. However, head coach / GM Bill O'Brien decided, hey, you know what? I feel like screwing up a team. And what better team than the one I'm coaching right now? And before the 2019 season, he'd make a pretty questionable trade for Laremy Tunsil and Kenny Stills, in which he gave up 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick. Now, Laremy Tunsil is a really good player, and so is Kenny Stills, and the Texans did need some offensive line help. However, giving up 2 first and a second, that is a lot. Not only that, but the guy had a pretty big contract, and they traded Dwayne Brown, who they really could have just kept, and he is still a very good player, arguably better, if not the same level on Laremy Tunsil. But anyways, Houston still had a pretty good year, and it was not like that trade was horrible. But fast forward to March, and Bill O'Brien does this.
No.
This, of course, drew a lot of criticism to Bill O'Brien, and he got a lot of heat for this move for good reasons. He traded their superstar wide receiver for a washed-up running back and a second-round pick. The trade package was just not good. How else do I put it? And of course, along with many other things, the Texans would end up going 4-12 because of this, and Bill O'Brien during the season would get fired. And with all that out of the way, let's take a look at the case for keeping and trading Deshaun Watson. In the case for keeping him, there is still a good case. First off, Deshaun Watson is a generational talent, and he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks of this generation. So obviously, they should definitely do their best to rebuild a team and just build a team around him. And it's not too late to do that, even though it will be hard, as the Texans will not have a lot of cap space in this upcoming free agency, and they won't have a lot of cap space over the next few years, and they are not going to, have a lot of draft capital. But even though it's difficult, it is still possible. The guy the Texans hired, he was really sought after, so maybe there's a chance that this guy is a very good GM and he's able to get the Texans out of this bad situation. And it really is still possible. So, the Texans shouldn't completely give up on the option of trying to build a team around him. However, on the flip side, it's going to be really hard, obviously, as I said before, and if you trade him, you can get a lot, and I mean a lot. Now, the asking price will be a question. Obviously, it's going to be a very high asking price, given how good he is, and the fact that he's going to be good for a long time. So, my guess is the price will be at least 2 first-round picks, maybe a second or two, plus some other draft picks, like a 5th round or 6th round, some later draft picks, plus a solid starter. The asking price, it's gonna be a lot, but given Deshaun's worth, it may be, who knows, it might be worth it to trade Deshaun Watson, especially if it's gonna be really hard to build a team around him, and if you can't do it, then trading Deshaun Watson might be one of the few options you have. Now, as for teams he could go to, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been bringing up. Big Ben is aging, so of course there's that for you, and they are going to have to find a quarterback for the future, and it doesn't look like, Mason Rudolph is exactly the future. They do have a pretty good and complete team with good weapons, a good offensive line, and they got a really good defense. However, my issue with the Pittsburgh Steelers is that they don't have a lot of cap space. So, Deshaun Watson, he's just going to make their cap space, the situation a lot worse. So, I seriously doubt that I don't know if the Pittsburgh Steelers will get him. They do have they have the right pieces around him, like with a good offensive line and weapons and defense, as I said before, but cap space will be an issue in this case. Washington has also been bringing up, and Washington, they certainly have a case. The offensive line is far from the best, but it is not terrible. The weapons are okay, as they do have Terry McLaurin, who is phenomenal. Antonio Gibson's very good. Plus, they got, some solid guys around Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson. Plus, they got a good coach in Ron Rivera, and the defense is also very good. And they do play in a weaker division, so it should be easier to, win the division and get into the playoffs and do all of that stuff. However, I guess Washington, I believe, can probably get him, as they do have a lot of cap space in this upcoming free agency, so cap space will not be an issue. However, I would like Washington to definitely get another secondary playmaker next to Terry McLaurin, but hey, Washington is it's not a bad destination at all. The 49ers, to me, are one of the best options for Deshaun. First off, they have a pretty decent cap situation, so they already got that checked off. Next up, they got good coaching, as Kyle Shanahan is one of the best head coaches in the NFL. The offensive line is also pretty good. The weapons are pretty good, as they got guys like George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and a lot of other guys. And the defense is really good. And the 49ers, I'm just gonna say this right now, they would be playing this January if it was not for injuries. Because when this team is healthy, they're one of the best in the NFL. Now, the division is tough, so obviously getting into the playoffs is going to be hard when you got the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals all in your division. And he can definitely elevate the team, though. And the 49ers, to me, have a really strong case. So obviously, there's my case for the 49ers. The Patriots are also an option, too. Now, I know the Patriots, I am a Patriots fan, so I will have some bias here. And my thoughts on this as a Patriots fan is I would definitely love Deshaun Watson. They do have a pretty good cap situation, but, one issue I do have is important free agents. If you trade for him, it's going to be hard to bring back a lot of these important free agents. So obviously, that will be an issue. And the offensive line, it's pretty good. The defense is also pretty good, but the weapons are a massive issue. So if they can get weapons, I guess I could see the case, but I don't know if Deshaun Watson on the Patriots, as a fan too, of the Patriots, I mean, it would be kind of iffy, but hey, I can definitely see the case. And the final team I will bring up for this video is the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears got a really good defense, and they also got some solid weapons, and the coaching is not great, but they are a good QB away from being, just a really serious playoff team, because right now the Bears are like a borderline fringe playoff team, and they hardly got in. So obviously there's that for you. But if the Bears got Deshaun Watson, I mean, first off, I mean, they would definitely elevate their team, but I mean, cap space wise, they are not great again. So obviously that is definitely an issue. But I mean, the Chicago Bears sure do have a case. But to me, what is the best option? In all honesty, I might have to give this to the 49ers as the best case for Deshaun Watson. He has a good coach there. The management is pretty good there. He has a pretty good offensive line. Weapons there are good. And the defense is good. So to me, the 49ers are definitely the best option. But if I'm the Texans, what am I doing? Well, this is going to be a hard decision. I definitely would try and building around Deshaun Watson. I might give it like one more year. But I mean, if it does... well, maybe not one more year, but I mean, trading Deshaun Watson can get you a lot, and it can definitely help free up quite a bit of cap and give you some solid, building pieces in the future. But at the same time, you will be losing a generational quarterback. I mean, and there's a chance that you don't get that quarterback for a long time. So I can see the case for trading him and keeping him. But aside from that, that's kind of all I have to say for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you guys are new. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and it would mean a lot to me if we could reach that goal. Once we hit 1K, I will react to my first 2 videos. So if you guys want to see that and enjoy the videos on this channel, make sure to subscribe. But with all that being said, I'm out, you guys.